Hey everyone, thanks for joining us this week. We are looking at 6 things that every family needs over time, and this week is a very serious conversation that we are having. It is super serious and really important, and everyone needs to just tune in real close, listen closely to the words that we're about to say because they are life-changing and super serious. And that is the idea that fun over time is something that every family, every relationship needs a lot, right? A lot of fun. And maybe we need to make some more room in our lives for some more fun, right?
Isn't it amazing that we kind of think as we grow up and we become adults with grown-up problems,
bills,
and grown-up stresses,
cars breaking down,
and when we have children on top of it,
dirty diapers,
screaming. Let's all pause for a moment in silence.
Loud noises every day.
This has not affected you at all.
A lot of screaming, a lot of high shrills in my house.
We can talk later about that if you'd like. So
that would be great.
But we talk about this. Why is it that when all these stresses come, we kind of think we have to act like adults? There is no fun whatsoever. We don't need to show anybody that we're taking things less serious. And that is even the case in our spiritual walk with God. We kind of think when it comes to spiritual aspects, whenever we talk about the Bible, whenever we talk about church, we immediately become serious.
Oh, we're going to go serious voice on. We're talking about holy things.
Yes, and we kind of think that that's the only way that we can approach God, but we're forgetful that God created fun. That I actually think that God created fun within us, that He gave us that wiring, that personality, especially with me, I like to have fun, where we can laugh, we can not take ourselves so seriously because God intended us to have joy. In fact, I look at Ecclesiastes chapter 12, and I want to read you this because the writer even speaks to that idea that before troubles, before seriousness comes our way, that we're to remember what it's like to have joy. He says this, "Remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before the days of trouble come and the years approach when you will say, I find no pleasure in them." So it almost speaks to that idea that we're not going to find joy as adults. He says, remember your Creator. Remember what He's done. Remember it's okay to have fun.
Yeah, that's really important for us, especially in our relationships, right? Because sometimes that seriousness we have in our relationship with God, sometimes we forget that He did create us to have fun, and we bring that idea into our relationship with our spouse or our kids, and we're, as you're talking, I'm thinking, right, I'm trying to raise an adult, but maybe also they're trying to bring me back to childhood a little bit.
Absolutely.
Right?
I'm glad you brought that up. I remember years ago, I had a dear friend, his name is Jeremy, and Jeremy has 5 children now. He had 4 children at the time. His wife was pregnant and went in for the birth of his 5th child. Tragically, at the birth of his 5th child, his wife passed. There was no joy in that moment. It was heart-wrenching. It was tragic. And so for months, there was sorrow. And I remember it was Memorial Day, and I invited he and his girls over to the house with my wife and I so that we could try to put some sense of joy back to our lives. And we sat around, and one of the things that we decided to do was to have fun with the kids. And so in a very somber way, he and we were filling water balloons up. We filled this whole container up with, and by the way, when you have 5 children around, it takes a lot of water balloons.
At least 1,000.
My hands were from tying, I won't even get into it. So we fill a bucket filled with water balloons. We take it out into the middle, and we put very strong rules, because we're the adults, we're supposed to be serious. And all of a sudden, we're standing there. We made the mistake of standing close to the epicenter. And with these 5 children, we said on the count of 3, run. They ran, they picked it up, and then all of a sudden, all 5 of these children had the same thought. It's not fun to hit one another. It's fun to hit the adults. So as you said, they were trying to bring us into the fun. So all of a sudden, we started getting hit left and right with water balloons. The kids were laughing. We were so stunned, we ran over. And then we looked at each other and said, yes. So we grabbed water balloons, and we're hitting the kids, and we're having fun. But then there was a moment, and the reason why I bring this up is there was a moment that I looked at Jeremy's face, and he had a water balloon in his hand. He was soaking wet. And he looked across the field at me. He smiled, and he laughed for the very first time. And I remember saying, sometimes you just need a water balloon fight. Sometimes you need joy. Sometimes you need to be able to have that laughter back again. And so fun reconnects sometimes what's been disconnected. In life, when tragedy hits, in life, if your marriage is not having much fun, if you're a spouse and you've lost fun, sometimes in order to get reconnected, have some fun. Sometimes go on a date night, sometimes go miniature golfing, whatever it is, have fun so that you can reconnect what's been disconnected.
Yeah, and that's so important in any relationship that we have, right? There's just something about pausing for a little bit, you kind of forget about whatever it is that's dividing you, and you're able to reconnect over something and just have fun. So that is a great challenge for us this week, is how are we going to reconnect what's been disconnected? What kind of fun can we have this week? What's a relationship in your life that maybe needs to be reconnected, and what kind of fun can you have to do it?
And one last thing I wanted to bring up, to be able to say this, is sometimes in the midst of fun, try having fun with someone that you don't like. It's not easy.
That already gives me anxiety. That doesn't sound fun.
It doesn't.
Gary.
It doesn't. Which means that if you can learn to start having fun once again, it connects the heartstrings. But more importantly, there is a place for forgiveness in fun. When you're able to have fun with someone, it authenticates forgiveness between individuals, whether it's parent-child, whether it's grandparent and child, or whether it's spouse to spouse. So this week, why don't we all try to have a little bit more fun?
All right, I love it. That is our challenge. Go have some fun this week. And it hardly even sounds like a challenge. It should be the easiest one we have to do yet. Hope you enjoyed that, and we'll see you next week.